let us move to subject. See, while writing the code, step by step we are keep on improvising it. If you have observed, first what we have done, we have started displaying only two tables. Tables can only display, but it cannot take input. But the forms, we can take it. We can take user input through forms. Initially, we have created the forms. Then we have started taking input. Then we have limited only to that. We have started calculating the total, calculating the percentage, and we have started calculating the subject-wise result on click of the button. We have improvised it further, and we have started calculating the result while typing itself. And further improvised it, whichever the field we are typing, we are highlighting that input. If you go to any award ceremonies, if they call a person, the focus light will come on to that person, right? Exactly the same way. Whatever the field we wanted to highlight, we are highlighting that field on click of that particular field. Now I wanted to improvise it further. We are writing lots and lots of code. Yes, it is working. Improvised a bit better. Reusability. What? Reusability. Now you might have heard about it. Rocket launches. Usually ISRO or NASA launch the rockets one way only. Once it goes up, gone. That's it. There is no point of coming back again and use it again. It's not like that. But Tesla, Elon Musk company, SpaceX, has created a new rocket where it can go up at the same time it can come down also. What is the advantage of that? Reusability. Earlier, rocket is designed for one space action. That's it. One space trip. That's it. Now, because of this reusability, you can use it 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times also maybe. It saves lots of money for them. Right? What? Just change the fuel. That's it. You just take that rocket up, unload it, and come down. Again, change the fuel. Again, do it. Reusability. Exactly the same thing. I wanted to do it here. Now, yesterday in our last session, what we have done, we have created almost for everything we have created three functions. We have created, I think, functions. We have worked on functions. Let me close this. So here, if you see, we have created separate function for each input. English on focus, English on change, English on blur, Telugu on focus, Telugu on change, Telugu on blur. For each and every subject, we have created three, which is working fine now. But if it is a more number of subjects following this approach is difficult. There is more number of subjects following this approach is difficult. If I wanted to do it for BTech, The subjects are there, 16 to 3, 180 functions I have to create. Then, but it's long, tedious work actually, laborious work. I have to write code a lot. So what can be done now? We can reuse the code. We can reuse the code, and we have already worked on a concept called functions. We have worked on different types of functions like anonymous functions, callback functions, named functions. First, we have written anonymous functions, which we are calling anon-click. That means function is a function, but no name to it. Function, named function means it's function only, but we are giving a name to it. So yesterday, first we have worked on anonymous function. Yesterday, we have converted from anonymous function to named function. Now, I wanted to improvise it further by using the concept called functions with parameters. Functions with parameters. This is also called as functions with input. Functions with input. What exactly is this? Now I am creating a function. Now see here, coming here. Okay. First, let us focus on focus. What exactly English on focus is doing? Function is doing focus on English input. So we are on click of the input, we are focusing it. Yes or no? That is, we are doing an English on focus. What exactly Telugu focus is doing? Focus on Telugu, that means same thing. What exactly Hindi on focus is doing? Same thing. Science on focus, same thing. We are doing the same thing. Everything is same. Only that the input changes. To increase reusability by using the concept called functions with input or parameters. What exactly is this? Just to understand it, let me create a function. Let me create a function. You will understand it. I am creating a normal function. Calculate numbers. Normal function. I'll say let A is equal to 10. Let B is equal to 20. Then I'll say console.log into B. Calculate the numbers. It's not multiplication, whatever. I'll say multiply, for example. Multiply two numbers. Now, if I run this function, what will be the value on the console? If I call this, it will be displayed on the console. 200. A is 10, B is 20. Star means multiplication. It will show 200. Now I'll come here. With the right click, inspect. See here, if I come to console, it is showing 200. Perfectly fine. Now I am calculating 10 into 20. Now I wanted to calculate 5 into 7. What I have to do? Now I wanted to calculate both. 10 into 20 also I wanted to calculate. 5 into 7 also. I mean 5 into 7 also I wanted to calculate. 3 7. 10 20 is 200. And it will cancel another 35. It will both calculate and it will give the. No. I have done one calculation. 10 into 20, one calculation. I wanted to perform altogether separate calculation. 5 into 7. That means I have to write again. Yes or no? Now what I will do? I'll say let multiply 7. Now let I can create A also. A is equal to 5. Let B is equal to 7. Then console log A into 3. Now it displays 35 if I call it. Now if I come here, it should display 35. To calculate the 6 into 4, then what I have to do? We have to create another function. I will say multiply x and 4. 6 and 4 I want to calculate it. Doing A is equal to 6. Let B is equal to console dot log A into. Are we calling? We are not calling 6 into 4. We have to call it. We have discussed if we create a function that must be called. 24, perfectly fine. 54, line number 54. Now, like this, I wanted to do 100 calculations between two numbers. How many functions I have to create? 100 functions. Okay. Now, I am going to use a concept called functions with input, where it increases reusability. Increases reusability. That means what? Now, observe here what I am doing. Observe any of these functions. We are creating variables and we are calculating it and displaying it. We are creating variables within the flower brackets. Sir, now see here. Function means what? This is arrow, flower brackets. We are creating variables here. The values here. Yes or no? Now I wanted to do slightly different. Instead of this, I wanted to create variables here. I can do that also. We have 2 years. Which year can here? Here also the same thing. We have parentheses, we have flower brackets. Which can be used for variable creation? Both can be used. But there is a slight difference in behavior. If you create the variable within these flower brackets, you have to assign the value there. In the value there. Variable creation and assigning the value at the same place. But here it's not like that. Variable creation is different and the place of variable creation is different, place of assigning the value. Understanding? See, I can compare this with a restaurant. I can compare this with a mess. Restaurant, where you eat, where you order, where you pay the bill, where you wash your hand, everything is the same place. But mess, different. If you wanted to eat food, first you have to go to the cash counter and pay the money and get the token. Place of paying money is different. Go to the table and eat. Place of eating is different. You go to wash machine and wash your hands. That is different. Both are hotels. Both are you are going for eating, but different approaches. In restaurant, you go and sit, you order, you get food, you eat. They give you a finger bowl, you clean there, and you pay the bill and go. Everything at one place, like this. This is like mess. Pay the bill, different place. Eat, different place. Wash your hands, different place. Exactly the same thing. But both can be done. We have already worked on this. Now we are going to work on this. How? Now let us see here. Now here, what in multiply two numbers is a function. We are creating the variables and we are calculating the multiplication. Yes or no? Now what I will do, we are creating the variables within the floor brackets, right? Now I don't want it to create like that. So I am just deleting everything. So nothing is there in it as of now. Variables I wanted to create. Two variables, one for A, one for B. Two variables I wanted to create. Not creating variables within these floor brackets. I will be creating variables here. Within this, I will set A, comma B. That's it. If you are creating it here, no need to tell whether it is let or constant. Directly you can say A, comma B. That's it. If you wanted to create three variables, comma C. If you wanted to create four, if you wanted to create five, if you wanted to create six, like this you can. Right now I want only two. Three variables. See the difference between these two things here. Within these floor brackets, we are creating the variable, assigning the value. We are creating is A and under is B. And now what I wanted to do, I wanted to assign the values. Here we are creating and assigning at the same place. But here creation of variable is different place, assigning of variables is different. Where I wanted to assign while calling these functions with input or parameter, we will be assigning the values while calling. Now I will call this now and say multiply what calling the function, right? Now I wanted to assign. Now I am giving 7. The first value. Now A value is 7, comma 9. B value is 9. Now here A value is 7, B value is 9. Now I wanted to calculate it. Now I'll say console.log into B. That means what is the value of A now? What is the value of B? 9. What is the total? 7 into 9? 63. Now it should show 63 to us. Yes. 63 it is showing. Specialty of this. Okay. Now this is calling. How many times I can call? Any number of times. Now I am calling again. Multiply two numbers. 10, 20. What is the value of A now? What is the value of B? 20. What will be the output? 200. Now see. 200. We are getting 63 also. We are getting 200 also. I wanted to calculate 5 into 7. How do I do that? Multiplies two numbers. 5, comma 7. That's it. 5 into 7, 5 sevens are 35. I should say 35. Actually speaking, I don't need this function because we are calculating it here. Now 6 into 4. Now how do I do that? Multiply two numbers. Then I will pass 6, comma 4. 4 is 24. 24 is showing. Do I need this? No, I don't need this. And what I am doing? So earlier for 100 multiplications, how many functions I have to create? 100. Now, one use 100 times, which increases reason. For 1000 times, if I wanted to calculate earlier, 1000 functions. Now, one function use 1000. Understanding the advantage. As I said, you pay it in one place, you eat it in another place. You create the variable in one place, which is parenthesis. You assign variables in another place, which is by column. And in between that, you will be writing the logic. A and B, I am passing numbers. Anything. I can pass numbers, I can pass strings, I can pass references. We have created so many references, right? We can pass references, anything we can pass. I'm saying. What is functions with input? This is why it is called as input. While calling the function, I am passing the inputs. The function, which is actually whatever the numbers I am passing, for that it is doing calculation. The same concept I am going to use. How? We have English on focus system. On focus, Hindi on focus, science, social, maths on focus on. Reference of input, I will pass it as a input. It should work for all. Now for 6 subjects, unfocused functions we are creating. Now only one can be sufficient. Now what I will do, first let us focus on unfocus. Now let me comment all these things for now. What I will do, I will say let the input on focus. I am creating a function. Now here I am passing input ref. Whatever the input that ref we are passing as the. This is the name of the variable action. This is the name of the variable, and we are going to pass that input only. Once we get that input, what I wanted to do, I will say input ref dot style dot background color is equal to I wanted to do it. Whatever I pass, background will be changed into orange. Yes or no? Now I will call this input on focus here. Is there? Now first name is there. First name we haven't given any input on focus. Now here I will say on focus. I am creating an arrow function inside this. Here I am calling that input on focus function, and I will pass this input ref as the value here. I am passing first name input ref. For that it will change the color to orange. Now if I come here, Now if I click on this, it's come. Now what I will do, I'll come to last name. For last name also, I'll say on focus is equal to. Earlier also we are calling function. Today also we are calling function. But while calling the function, I am passing the input as a value, as a reference. Uh, we have created input on focus, right? Okay. Now if I see here, input on focus, I am passing it. Earlier we were just calling, we are just giving empty parenthesis, that's it. Now I am passing the value. Click on this now, this is also. Understanding what I am saying? But why this is not going out? On blur we haven't given. We haven't given. We'll be working on that as well. So now I'll be creating one more function for on blur. On focus I have given. Now I'm creating one more function. Let input on blur is equal to. Now I'm taking that input reference again. Anything you can give A, B, C, D, X, Z also you can give, but I'm giving some meaningful name. So input ref, we are going to get it, and here input ref dot current dot style background color. I say white. When I have to call this, when I have to call this on blur of the input. That means for input on focus we have given on blur. Here put on blur and that input I'll pass it. I'll parameter. On blur. See what we have written. We have written that change the background color to white. When I am calling on blur of it, so it will become white, and I am passing that which one to be become white. That input I am passing. Now, if I see here, last name, it is working. Why it is not working for last name? On blur is not given. Name also I am giving on blur. Put on blur. Understanding the importance of reference in functions with input. I have created one function and I am using for both first name and last name. Now see. Things are coming perfectly fine. I wanted to do it for remaining things also. Telugu, Hindi, science, social math, and all those things. So now what I will do, I am coming here for English. We have already written here instead of English on focus, I'll say on input. And we have given as input on What is the reference I have to pass? This English input. Observe here, this is a normal function without any parameters. With one parameter, that one parameter we are passing. It as a input. You can call it as a parameter. You can call it as argument. In English, I can delete this. Yes or no? I'm clicking on this. Yes, perfect. Let me check it. Perfect. Perfect. But one thing we are missing, this message is not displaying here. In an instructional text, that is not displaying. We'll be working on that aspect. Okay. Now, like this, I wanted to do it for remaining also. Input on focus I have given. Then uh, input on working fine. Now I wanted to do it for remaining also. Now I just copy. Change we haven't worked on it. On change also we have to work on it. Shall we work on change also? What are we writing on change? We are saying pass or fail, right? Okay, we'll be working on that. First, we'll be finishing this on focus and on blur. And copying this. And for Telugu, on blur, I'm changing it. And Telugu input run. Telugu input run. Now the same thing, I'm going to use it for Hindi. Hindi input run. Then science. Input run. Then social. Social also earlier we have written all the code, but now I'm just replacing. Social. Understanding what I'm doing? Then maths. If I come and see here, it should work for all. On focus is working, on blur is also working. Actually, as per the yesterday's approach, now we have 8 fields: first name, last name, and 6 subjects. As per yesterday's approach, we have to create 8 on focus, 8 on blur, 8 on change. We have done, instead of 8 on focus, we have created only 1 on focus. We are changing the value parameter. Instead of 8 on blur, we have created only 1 on blur. It's reusing, yes or no? Now on change also I wanted to work on it. On change also I wanted to work on it. Now observe here. What exactly this on change? Okay, even this is not completed fully. If I click on this here, I wanted to show the instructional text. Yes or no? Instructional text is there. So let us focus on that instructional text now. You see, English and focus, we are changing the background color and we are making that instructional text to visible. Now, how many instructional text do we have? Separate. 6 we have. 6 instructional text we have for 6 subjects. Yes or no? Now we are including first name and last name also. Now I wanted to include instructional text for that also. That we haven't created yet. Now if you see, here, instructional text is there. Yes or no? English instructional, English, all the languages instructional text is there, but first name and last name instructional text is not there actually. Last name instructional text is not there. Adding instructional text for first name and last name also, I'll say name instructional text reference, which I wanted to create it. And here also name instructional text which I wanted to create. Now I want to create this reference. Now I'll be having instructional text for all the inputs. English, Telugu, Hindi, Science, Social, Maths is there. First name and last name is not there. So I'll do let first name instructional text is equal to user, which I have already used there. And last name instructional text. Last name instructional text I have created. Earlier we have 8 inputs, 6 instructional texts were there. First name and last name it was not there. Now I have created those 2 also, which is not displaying by default. That's what our behavior is. Okay. Now on click of this is highlighting, but I wanted to show the instructional text. Now what I will do, we have the function called, that's right. How many parameters are we taking? 1. How many we can take? Any number we can take. Now I wanted to take one more for instructional text. So I'll say instructional text ref. Taking one more, and what I am doing it, instructional text ref dot current dot style dot visibility is equal to visible. I am giving it. But now I have created a function with the 2 parameters. How many I have to pass while calling? 2 I have to pass it. Now on blur also I wanted to do the same thing. Here also I wanted to take the IT ref instructional text reference, and here instructional text reference dot current dot style dot visibility. is equal to. Now, earlier we have created a function which takes only one input. Now I have modified that function which takes two, one for input, one for instructional text. Now, while calling also I have to do that now. Now here, calling one, I am passing only one now. Now I have to pass that other also. Like, first name instructional text I am passing to this. On good focus. But this also on blur I am just passing it. Let's see the difference. Now, are you able to see? It is displaying, but probably positioning we have to adjust it. The position is actually proper, but this is showing a bit right side. This content is showing a bit right side. Positioning we can work on it a bit later. Working now. I wanted to do it for last name. Last name. I am taking last name input instructional text reference, and I will pass that to focus and understanding what I am doing. Do you have any question? Now, if you see here, for both, instructional text is shown. Are you able to see? Now, I want this instructional text to be a bit bigger. I want this instructional text to be a bit bigger. Now, let us see what is the size we have given. Text again font size 0.5. I will give 0.8. Little bigger. I am giving it. Are you able to see? Now it is bit bigger than earlier. Now our first name it is working, last name it is working. For English, it is not working. Why it is not working? It is trying to set that instructional text make it visible, but we are not passing. What happened? Now I will come here. I wanted to pass modified there, that's why I am modifying it here. Here I wanted to pass instructional text reference. English instructional text reference on focus on blur. English I have given. And Telugu, here also I am passing. TEL. For Telugu also I am passing. If you observe it here, we are working on focus and on blur. On change we have to work on it. Let us go for I'll just change that to the. I have created once and using it multiple times. Now up to Hindi it should work. Now English okay working fine, Telugu working fine, Hindi working fine. Science, it is not working because we are not passing the second parameter. So, science. Then social. Social. Science, social. Then now on focus and on blur is ready for all the 8 fields. Now see, working fine, working fine, working fine, 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 fine. Understood? Now we have 8 inputs. How many on focus we have created? How many on blur we have created? One. Old approach, how many I have to create? 8 for on blur, 8 for on focus, 16 I have to create it. But instead of 16, I have created just 2. The 60 subjects, how many I have to create? 2. For 100 subjects, 500 subjects. Approach 500 subjects, 1000. And the difference, right? Not about reducing the number of lines. It's about flexibility. 1000 functions you have created. Now there is a small change. You have to change it in 1000 places. Change it in 2 places. That's the advantage. Now on focus we have done, on blur we have done. Now what I wanted to do, on change I wanted to do it. Now here I am clicking on it. If I enter 4 is coming, 40 pass is coming. But actually I have created separate for each and everything, which I don't want it. So now what I will do, I am creating one more function. So here earlier I am giving the name English on focus. I am given the name focus, common name. Common name. Got to point. Input on focus means can be used for all the subjects. If I create a variable function called English on focus, I can use only for English. Got your point? So I have given a common name. Here also, input on focus is done, input on blur is done. Now what I have to create now? Input on change. Now what exactly we are doing on change? We are whatever the marks user is entering, we are checking with the pass or fail, and we are showing the result. That means how many references we have to pass it here? Input 1 for pass or fail. 2 we have to pass it. Okay, now let us try. We have already written the code here. English on change. Let me, and I'll paste it here and I'll just modify it. This is more specific to English, which I don't want it. Now input ref, then and result we have to show it. Done. Now here I am just changing it to just marks. whatever the user is entering in input, marks we are storing into normal variable. I am just creating the common names. If I create English marks, I cannot use it for Telugu. If I say marks, can use it for Telugu also. That's why I am just giving common name. Now, result span also, I am just using this result span. Dot in the HTML, this marks greater than pass marks, then pass string or fail string. Then I am just changing the color also. So what we are doing, first parameter is input ref. Input ref marks we are getting it, converting into number and storing into this. And we are showing pass or fail by comparing that marks into this result span. And we are changing the color also. Here also I can use pass marks actually. Use pass color. So I can use it. Now I have created this on change also. Now how many parameters I have to pass? What are those two? Input, we are collecting the marks, and the span for changing to pass or fail. Now what I will do, okay, on focus, on blur, on change, now I have to use it. Okay, so first name, last name, I am not using any on change as of now. Only for subjects we are using on change. Instead of English on change, what I am going to use, input on change. To pass English input reference. Then what is the next one? Span reference, because we have to pass or fail. Instruction is different. Is different. I have to pass what is this English result? And now I don't need this now. Likewise, I'll be using it for change for Telugu also. Telugu also I'm changing it. So I am passing the Telugu input ref parameter, span ref as the parameter. Hindi, replacing it here. I am giving Hindi input ref for collecting the values and saying pass or fail and displaying the result. English. We have done properly for Hindi. Input ref in this panel. Okay. Science. Input ref. Then I think that just copy paste, but point here is what to copy, where to paste. Point. Everyone can throw arrow, but it should go on the right direction. That is the difference. Yes or no? Now science is done. Then social. Social, we have earlier we had written so much of code like this. I'll delete it. then maths. Maths is better. Maths and I think we are done. Narrow is coming. Hmm? Yes. Oh. English marks is not defined. Okay. Line number 59. Input on change. This result. Okay. This mark, it should be marks. We are getting one more error. Marks. Okay. I think it's done. Now see 40 it is showing pass. 21 it is showing fail. Now 11. 11, 20, 33, 44. Working on that. But fail should show in actually, it should work now actually. 33. 33, okay. Working on that. Pass. Now do I need English on focus function? Now? No, because we are using common function. You can delete it. Do I need English on change? No. Using common function. Delete. Do you need English on blur? Delete. Focus? Delete. Telugu on change? No. Telugu on blur? Indian focus? Indian blur? Indian change? Science on focus? Blur? Science on change? All these things. Of code is gone now. This approach is better or the previous approach is better? Why? Reusability, automatically flexibility. Now I'll come here. It is working exactly the same way like yesterday. With a lot less code, reusability, more flexibility. Now I wanted to change from red to purple. Does I have to change? See here, I'll change it. That's it. Earlier 6 approaches. Here 6 places, now it's 1. Understood the advantage of using functions with parameters. We have already worked on with parameters also. Now, earlier what we used to do, this is the function name. We used to, now this is the function name, this is the parenthesis, right? Here we used to write something called as props. Or you are passing through props while calling this component, that will come as a parameter. We can use it. Right now I am not passing any props. But if I pass it, everything will come it as a prop here. I am using it actually. Understood the approach? So what we have done, we have created a normal form initially. Then step by step we are improving. Yesterday and today, output wise no difference. Approach wise, reusability has changed. Point. See, I'm giving an example, purely example. Now, if you ask, give me one glass of water in airplane, air hostess will be there. What will they do? They'll give water. If it is government airplane also they may give. You hesitate to ask. Getting service from certain sectors is difficult. Yes or no? But now Tata has taken that. No, it's the same airplane, but you will be getting better services. Air India. I'm giving an example. Output remains same, but the code-wise better approach we have done. I want you to try this. This is very important. Functions with parameters. There is one more is there. Functions with output. Now this is function with input. We are function is receiving something through parameters. There is one more called functions with output. Function will give us something. You see this function. This is receiving something while calling. Yes or no? Input. There is one more called functions with output. It gives, it sends something or gives something. Point that we'll be discussing at later point. Gun takes the input. Gun gives the output also. Gun takes bullet as the input. If you press the trigger, gives the bullet to the output. Now we have given the input only. Tomorrow we'll be working on output. Just seeing, let me check your understanding on this. Then we'll plan. It covers continuously. Depending upon your things, I'll be planning. I'm making sure you'll understand it. Any questions on this? How many you can take? 200 inputs also you can take. 100 also you can take. Now I have created 3 functions, all these 3 taking 2 inputs only. You can pass any number. You can pass. Of course, you have to create it. If you create 3 variables in parentheses, you can pass 3. If you create 5 variables in parentheses, you can pass 5. 50, you can pass 50. There are few more concepts out there like default parameterized values and you can pass unlimited parameters also. That we'll be discussing at later point. It may create confusion to you at later point. I want you to try this. Let me the same task, improvise it a bit further using this function. I'm just creating the task. We can put, in interviews, people may ask you what is functions with parameters. with input. I'm using that keyword input or term key input. The reason is you can understand. Let me take attendance.